Happy Saturday. I have been getting lots of questions about my Miata. It is a 93 lifted Miata on the Paco Motorsports kit. I got my script right there, kind of, because I get lots of questions and I deviate from the subject. But people ask me, what kits are you running? Well, I have Koni STR struts. They're actually the STRT struts with, I'm assuming they are Koni or HR springs. When I bought them, they had a Tane sticker on them, but God knows what they are. They're just 500 pound up front, 600 pound in the rear. I'm not enjoying them very much. I wanted to switch them out for the stock ones, but yeah. The fender, what happened to my fender? I was cutting it with a Sawzall. Do not use a Sawzall while doing this kit. If you plan on cutting, I would recommend using an angle grinder so you can get it right done the first time. Let's see, other questions. What is it like driving it? Well, driving it kind of feels, all right, so I did a little bit of modifications on the driving it part. Let me come back here, because the driving it part feels exactly the same as it did when it was 3.5 inches off the ground. The only difference is I don't have a sway bar hooked up. I actually completely removed it. Left the bolts, so in case I do want to put it back in, I can. But in the rear, I can feel twisting occurring. I can feel the rear end twisting down this way when I give it some torque, because this is definitely my drive wheel here. This is the power wheel. This one just catches up afterwards. I mean, whatever, it's fine. But that's what it's like driving it. And then let's see. Does it feel any different? Slightly. Kind of. I've never been lifted up before, so I do feel like I'm getting hit with whenever a gust of wind comes, it just throws me across the road. That's new. Never had to deal with that before. Let's see. The tires are 28 by 8.5 by 14s. They are General Grabber AT2s. I went with these because the Bighorns, what I was looking at, they weren't rated for the vehicle. They would cause the vehicle to hop. Sure, it would be great to rip through some mud and everything, but when at highway speeds, it would cause the vehicle to hop around and jump around. Next, what is next? Well, what's next is, starting with this in the fender, I got to get this covered up. I want to get a frog arm here to put strength on the rest of the chassis, and then the fender is going to be tucked underneath the tire. Basically make it to where the tire is more visible than the rest of the car is. Same with back here. I'm going to take these and roll them in. Just roll them all the way in. And then right around the door line, I'm going to roll it a little bit because I want to get Jeep hinges. I want to put some Jeep door hinges on, and then you're going to see the mess of my car because I just got home. And then there's going to be a bar going across here so I can actually remove the door while driving. Roll cage is definitely one that needs to be done. My passenger needs a little bit of security. And bash bars. For sure, bash bars is definitely something that is a necessity. As well as the suspension. It needs to have a little bit more travel in it, because right now it's just thump thump. You know, here, let me see if I can get it to without cutting myself. It kind of just really doesn't have much movement. Like, it's a little bit more, it's a lot more actually than what it was before, because I wasn't able to even shake the car before when it was low. Oops. Now I can actually get the car moving. Somewhat of a shake. And pretty much all the same questions is what's next, what do you need to do? Well, it drives really slow. The crazy thing is, my wheels here, these are the ones that came off. They are 195/50/15. My speedometer was off by 5 miles. I have these ones that are 4 inches completely bigger than the entire tire, and yet somehow my speedometer is on point. Crazy. Let's see. It needs maintenance. I need to definitely do a tune-up to it. And my version of a tune-up is going to be spark plugs, fuel filter. Let's go ahead and get underneath the hood here. There's nothing really super duper modified, because right now it's as OEM as it is. that's my only modification. Cardboard does not catch on fire, it just does that. And it helps with heat a little bit until I can figure out something there. I am working on trying to do like a snorkel going this way, up and out, and then with a air-water separator. And then basically all I need to do is need to change out the spark plugs. As you can see, there's one that's different, and do a coil pack on that. Maybe do a CAS O-ring so it doesn't leak. I'm not even sure if it's leaking. Oh, I'm not even leaking. I'm pretty good on that. But check the CAS, make sure it's in proper adjustment, and clean the throttle body, fuel filter, spark plugs, valve cover gasket. There will be a video on extracting a screw and then replacing it, as well as here. I have this screw, I know for a fact, is cross-threaded into this thing because I wrenched the shit out of it, and it was late at night and I just wanted to get it back together. So, oopsie on me, but now at least it's a video for later on. That's pretty much about it. I just got to get this thing back up and running, or not back up and running, but back up to par, because it's not as powerful as I want it to be. Coming up under here, you'll notice that there is some awesome frame damage. That's speed bumps right there. On the other side is not so much better on the back side. I'm going to plan on getting the frame rail updates that give me the strengthened frames, as well as upgrading that exhaust from back there to maybe about, because it's 2 inches up here, so I go to a 2-inch the rest of the way, or 2 1/4 inch the rest of the way to a stock pipe to keep the torque. That 1 7/8 inch piping is just not enough. Well, that's pretty much about it. That pretty much covers what it's like driving it. I mean, it's a Miata. Before, my suspension was slammed down on the ground, and I was riding 3 1/4 inches off the ground, and I had very little to no body roll. If I were to feel any type of G-force, it would be if I'm taking the corner pretty hard, and the likeliness of it sliding was pretty much as it is now, because since I've removed the rear sway bar, when the car will turn when the chassis will turn, well, to be honest with you, the wheels won't move anywhere. The wheels will keep all full contact, so there's no issue or worry of sliding, except when on snow or ice, which I can't wait for. The one time I got a chance to drive through some snow, and I laughed all the way to work because it was fun. What else? Well, I don't think there's anything really else to cover, except I can do this. I mean, like, let you know what's going on or what I have plans to do. I got my Miata #1 video. That's what we're talking about now. Then I got my #2. That's where you'll see me actually do the tune-up, the fuel filter. I'm going to do a water-fuel separator in the line. I got to find out whether or not it should be before the filter or after. I think it should be before the filter. But I wonder how much it's going to mess with my fuel pressure regulator, or fuel pressure in general. Then I got to do the valve cover gasket, and then repairing cross-threaded parts. That's the coolant line. And then the lifted Miata video #3 will be frog arms and installation of tubbed fenders. So hopefully I will have these fenders tubbed. Let's go ahead and take a look at what I did to those fenders. Yeah, fenders. Oh, they're rusted like hell already. Ain't that about a bitch? Alright, so I'm going to be definitely cutting that portion off there. I'm going to be cutting this portion off here and then rolling it. But you can see where it kind of just went a little. Should just get new fenders. And then there's the bumper that's cut in half. And then the wheels. Anyone want a nice set of wheels? Or not really the wheels, more of the tires. The wheels kind of suck. But they are 195 50/15 Dunlops with some pretty decent tread, except for that tire. This tire, not so great. That's definitely some camber. Yep. Well, have a great day. I hope I've answered some of your questions. If I come up with any more... Oh my god, I almost died.